family, it's your sis Lisa. I hope you're doing well. So today I want to talk to you guys about building up a prayer life and building up your relationship with God. Some tips for that, what it looks like, how I've seen the fruit of it in my life, and yeah, so let's get into the video. So today I want to talk about focusing on your prayer life and really building it up and what that looks like, because I think when we think about prayer, some people think about like it's just a laundry list of what to say to God, or it's a one-way conversation, when really it's a two-way conversation between you and God, where he can speak to you. He can give you a sense of peace through the Holy Spirit. There's so many ways God can speak to you through prayer. So I just really wanted to talk about that, because I think until recently, and taking in some of these tips for myself and looking at other people say certain things that are similar to these tips I'm about to give you, is where I really discovered like building my relationship with God. So I wanted to share one. The first one is setting an appointment with God. So that's basically picking an appointed time. So for me, it's 6 a.m. Now I say 6 a.m. because it's better for me to wake up early, and that's also kind of where I'm more alert, is in the morning. I will not lie. There are some mornings that are harder than others to get up out that bed at 6 a.m., especially on the weekends. Because I'm just like, God, it's the weekend. But you know what? I set this appointment with you. I'm going to honor it. And I wake up at 6 a.m. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. There'll be times where it's like, if I've stayed up late a night before, be like, God, we need to have a conversation. Can we meet at 7 tomorrow because your girl is tired? And sometimes he'll say yes. Sometimes he'll be like, let's meet at 6. And I'll be like, you the boss, you right. And I'll do my best to wake up at 6. And the reason I do mine in the morning, besides being more of a morning person, is because it really sets the tone for my day. So I think the best time to do your devoted time to God is in the morning, because again, it sets the tone for your day, puts you in the right headspace, really puts you in a good space. If you want to do more different times with God, you could take your lunch break with God. You could talk to him before you go to bed. I try to always do like devoted time to God in the morning when I wake up and before I go to bed. And that's been really helpful to me, just getting in the right headspace and opening the door for him to speak and for me to hear things. Sometimes I'll hear things in the morning that I did not know about the day ahead, and they'll help me later in the day. Or I won't know, they won't be too specific. It'll be like a revelation or something, some kind of word that I'm just like, that seems random. And then later in the day it comes up, because, you know, God's all knowing, and it's lovely to get some insight from him. So again, set your appointment with him and he will honor it. I heard a preacher, she was talking about how she set an appointment with God, and she would wake up and she would read the Bible or she would pray, and nothing was happening for like, I don't know if she said weeks or months, but a while. And she said one day she just started getting downloads after downloads. So it's going to take consistency, and it's going to be hard. And again, like I said, I'm still getting better at it and honoring it every single day. Most days, but every single day I'm still getting better at it. So again, I just challenge you to like lean into like, this is the time I meet with God. This is us. This is what we do. The next thing I recommend is to establish a place of prayer. This is mine, my bedroom. My room is always my place where I meet God. My bed specifically, just like, you know, it's good for if you need to get prostrate, you need to get laid down, you need to maybe kneel. Like, it's a good multiple position situation. And I also know that, like, I'm not a mom, but I know that some moms do like a literal closet. People call it a prayer closet. For some people, it's a literal closet, because, you know, you got kids who know where you're at all times and want to know what you're doing. And so maybe your quiet space is your closet. But yeah, so find your prayer closet, if it's a literal closet, if it's your bed, if it's your room, wherever you want it to be, just somewhere where you can get alone with God and just really spend some devoted time. And I think also that has contributed to like just me feeling at peace in my room, because I know this is where I meet God at. I know this is where I be having some tough conversations and the Spirit of the Lord is in here. You know what I'm saying? So it almost hits different walking into a space where you know you've met God before, and where you know God is just like, well, God's everywhere, but where you can be more aware of his presence, you know? The next thing is turn off the notifications on your phone. If you're feeling big and bold about it, you can even turn off your whole phone, your whole computer, your whole device. Turn them all off. I have an Apple computer, an iPad, and an iPhone. So when I put one on Do Not Disturb, they all go into Do Not Disturb. Or one, there's this setting that's like if you have the update, it goes to personal. That's my favorite. And you can customize personal and Do Not Disturb nowadays. And I have my personal set to come on at 2 a.m. and go off at 8:30 a.m. So it really is just like at those hours, y'all ain't gonna hear from me. The only people who can text me and communicate with me during those hours is like really close friends who have allowed, and my parents and my family. And that is a blessing because it really tunes out all distractions, social media, email, and the one that you do with the personal one, it doesn't even show the notifications. So I don't even know what's going on. Oh, lovely. For just a peaceful morning and to not be distracted from my time with God, because I use my app on my phone. I told you I'm trying to switch to a paper Bible so that doesn't happen, but I use my Bible app on my phone, and sometimes I would find myself just getting like randomly distracted because there's a notification. But with the personal setting, it's not even there. You don't even see the notification. There's nothing to check. I would have to be like, oh, I want to check this thing, and hopefully suppress that urge and go back straight to the Bible app. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you have a paper Bible, if you're doing some prayer journaling, and you can stay off your phone, even better, honestly. All the more better. And you put your phone on Do Not Disturb and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's definitely a tip. So you can just lock in and be really in with that on your time with God and free of distractions. So the next step is to get into the presence of God. For some people, this is easier said than done. For me, I like to get super quiet, just breathe deeply and pray and just thank God for this day. Thank God for being in his presence. Thank him for his existence. And then I start to feel more at peace. I start to feel it in my body, you know. For some people, they really enjoy putting on worship music, and that puts them into the presence of God, into the awareness of who God is and how amazing he is and all that good stuff. But really just getting into the presence of God is coming to awareness of him and his presence in your space and in your life, and opening yourself up to him. So again, this is something that kind of just has to be done with practice, because for me, it took me years to be like, oh, I hear God. Like, it took me a long time. And again, easier said than done, but I think for some people, it just takes getting still and getting quiet and locking into reading the Bible, locking into praying, locking into meditating in his presence, you know? So you gotta find your thing. And honestly, for me, in certain seasons, it changes. Some seasons I'm like, I need silence. Other seasons I'm like, let me put on a little worship music to like usher me into the presence of God. Like, whatever works for you is what you need to do in that moment. One of the most important parts of prayer is honesty and transparency. Y'all, God is the best secret keeper. Literally, he ain't gonna tell nothing you say to him. So if you're feeling some type of way about something, even if it's negative, what you perceive as negative, present it to him, be like, God, this person made me feel a type of way and I need help just reconciling this or forgiving them or whatever it may be. If there are deep, dark secrets we all have that not a soul knows. And that's where I'm bad at keeping secrets, so I tell God. And even if you're not bad at keeping secrets, you should just tell God, because those are the things he's been able to repair in my life, the things he's been able to remove from me so I don't carry any shame, all that good stuff. He's so amazing. Like, I cannot, again, he's so good. He's so amazing, and he keeps all your secrets. He loves you so much that he's not gonna be like, yo, then talk to your friend and be like, yo, you know what Lisa said? Like, he's not gonna do that. That's not his vibe. That's not his thing. He's not gonna snitch on you. He may bring you to snitch on yourself, but that's another story for another day, isn't it? Anyways, you just have to be fully open and transparent with him, because being open and transparent with God is also a step towards being open and transparent with yourself, so that you can then grow and be all that you're called to be and be the person that you know you are. So again, be open and transparent with him. He's going to keep your secrets. He honestly already knows before you tell him, but he wants you to tell him, which again is the sweetest thing. And he wants to be in relationship with you and not just like, I'm God, I already know. Like, which is great, but he wants a relationship and a partnership with you. So bringing those things to him allows him and you to work on them together and build you up together. And it's the most beautiful partnership, the most beautiful relationship. So make sure when you're praying, it's more like God, like, it's not just asking him for things. It's a conversation, and an open and honest, transparent conversation at that. And the final thing I'll share is having a prayer journal. I actually recently just started a prayer journal, and I really am enjoying it. It's helping me keep track of what I prayed for, so that when I start seeing the fruit of it in my life, I'm like, oh my gosh, I prayed for that. That's so dope that's coming up. Or in general, I've realized I flow best when I write. Like, I don't think too hard. So I've been keeping a prayer journal for just like When I go to a prayer service, I'll write out a prayer. When I go to church in general, if I feel the Lord moving, I'll make sure I have my journal with me and journal there. I talked about this book, 31 Prayers for My Future Husband. And in there you can write a prayer, and I've been really enjoying that. And I've also like read them back and been like, that's really pretty. I said that, like, but it wasn't me, it was the Holy Spirit. You hear what I'm saying? So those moments are really cool when you get to see like what your spirit is praying for, what your spirit is saying, and what you're really longing for, and what you're really seeking God for, and what you're really thanking Him for. I become super thankful in prayer because it just reminds me to be in awe of who God is and in awe of His presence and how amazing He is. Again, every time I start talking about God, I just start smiling because He's so amazing. So the tips I just shared with you came from a list I wrote up for the Same Room. It's a digital platform that I'm so happy to be a part of and serve on the team for. So I highly recommend checking them out on Instagram, checking them out on YouTube. It's a whole talk show on YouTube and on where you listen to your podcast at. And it's a page on Instagram where they post things like every day, like 3 posts a day. So you gonna get Jesus, and you gonna get a laugh, and you gonna get relatable stuff. It's where faith meets culture. So I highly recommend checking that out and sewing into that environment. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope these are you got some takeaways from this that you can use in your day-to-day life. I love you, and I appreciate you for watching. Bye!